I'm just saying there's like 3 different people in our group chat that would have been like, hey,
Yeah.
how is this happening?
That makes sense to me. That's exactly what should happen.
You need someone that's going to be like, we're keeping all of the important information in the group chat.
Yeah.
You guys
That's
need to establish some group chat rules.
That's what these people should have done for sure. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the AITA Asshole Files. I'm Nick, and this is my lovely wife and co-host, Miranda.
Hi.
We're doing 4 back-to-back AITA Asshole stories with our normal shenanigans, but we're tossing it back and forth. So I'll start us off with story number 1. Miranda will lead story number 2. I'll take story number 3. Miranda will wrap up with story number 4, and then we'll end with our votes for the Asshole of the Week award. Now, for those that aren't familiar, at the end of each AITA Asshole Files episode, we're going to put in our vote for what we're calling the Asshole of the Week award.
Yeah.
So out of these 4 stories, we're going to put in our vote for which one we think is deserving of the weekly Asshole of the Week award. But it's not up to us. We just get votes. It's up to all of our ranters out there to let us know what the final verdict is. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the episode, feel free to cast your vote on whatever platform you're listening to this on, and we'll see who the Asshole of the Week award goes to. This video is being released on Friday, June 12th. So the Asshole of the Week will be announced in the comments of this video when next week's episode is released on June 19th. So that everyone has 1 week to get their votes in. So if you're interested in who the Asshole of the Week is, check this video's comments on June 19th for the results. Now, one thing we talked about last week, I think it was, is that when you put in your votes, you're not necessarily voting for OP. It's just the people within the story. So if there's like an ultra asshole within the story, that's what you can vote for.
Yeah, feel free to say who you think is the asshole and give us a little rant about why you think they are.
Exactly. So it's not always about the OP. Because sometimes they're not the biggest asshole in the story.
Like a lot of times OP isn't.
They're not the biggest asshole in the story.
Sometimes I've tried to search for stories where OP is the asshole. Sometimes they're hard to find.
Yeah, I mean, because, those probably get deleted pretty quickly. But some people leave them up.
Yeah.
And those are pretty entertaining to read.
And I appreciate those people.
Now, without further ado, let's dive right into this week's Am I the Asshole Files? So this story is titled, Am I the Asshole for Asking My Husband If He's Sure About Taking in His Nephew? I, 38 female, am currently pregnant and also have a 2-year-old. My husband is our only income. His brother is in the hospital and will be for a while. Afterwards, we'll probably need to be a rehab facility for a while. We're looking at months to a year with him being cared for, possibly even more. He had asked us about taking in his nephew, 7, during this time. My husband feels obligated. He's been staying with us for the last week, and it already has been a lot emotionally, and I'm sure it will be financially as well. I had mentioned to my husband if he was sure we should do this and brought up my concerns for the future. Our second child will be here in August, and I am already exhausted. It will also mean my husband will have to get a second job or pick up more hours if possible. My husband just got upset and said he couldn't believe I was asking that, and of course we should. He said none of that matters. His brother asked, so that's what we're going to do, and he couldn't believe I was even considering anything else. He told me if I had such concerns, I should start looking for jobs or ways to make money instead of doubting our situation. Edit. He can go to my mother-in-law and father-in-law, but my brother-in-law asked my husband to take him. So again, am I the asshole for asking my husband if he's sure about taking in his nephew?
I don't think you're the asshole for asking him if he's sure. I mean, it's fair to be concerned about the situation. I mean, it doesn't sound like you were like, oh, I don't think we should do it. But I mean, unless I missed that, I guess. But it sounded like you're like, okay, let's think about all of the factors that are about to go into it. Is this something that we're really prepared to do? If that's how you meant it, then no, you're not the asshole. But
it sounds like she's leaning more towards not. She doesn't blatantly say that. We're not adding that to the story, but I'll read this line again.
Okay.
My husband feels obligated, and he's been staying with us for the last week, and it already has been a lot emotionally, and I'm sure it will be financially as well. I had mentioned to my husband if he was sure we should do this and brought up my concerns for the future.
So the brother-in-law, he's in the hospital, right? And he needs to go to like some rehab facility. So I'm guessing maybe if he's in the hospital, has to go to rehab. Maybe he was like in an accident or something. That's what I know. I'm just trying to like piece it together. So
ultimately,
if that's the case, if it is this, it sounds like regardless, it was kind of a sudden situation. So I don't think it's fair to judge the emotional impact of this first week.
Okay.
Because this is a 7-year-old you're talking about. Something just happened to his dad. He's going to be distraught about it for a while.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's fair to say like, oh my God, this is too much emotionally, or, you know, I mean, it's fair for you to feel that way, but it's not fair for you to like expect a 7-year-old to kind of get over it. You know, that's kind of how that comes off, I guess.
Getting over it is like living on the street.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying is you're like, oh, it's just this first week. It's been a lot emotionally. Well, yeah, because the shit just happened. So it's going to be
you're
emotional.
Still adjusting.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why I don't think it's fair to make such a big decision based off of the emotions of this new thing that just happened. But at the end of the day, I mean,
another thing I want to add into is that this isn't for, you know, another 11 years till the kid turns 18.
Exactly.
We're looking at months to a year with him being cared for, possibly even more.
Exactly.
So, I mean, you're looking at a year roughly.
Yeah. I think
it's not a huge amount of time.
I mean, yeah, if it was me, I would fucking do it. No, like it wouldn't even be a conversation, honestly, for me. I would be like, yeah, you're going to stay here, obviously. But I guess if you're talking about, you know, like your in-laws and stuff, if it would make you feel better, you could ask if maybe they can help with some of the, you know, cover some of the expenses and stuff.
Okay.
Because, I mean, you guys already have a lot going on. You're about to have a baby, so it's unreasonable for your husband to be like, oh, you need to go get a job. Nobody's going to hire you if you're about to have a baby.
Of course.
Like, come on. So
the blow up is a conversation we'll have here soon.
I mean, yeah, that's a whole other thing. But
else.
I know, I just...
So
I don't think you're the asshole for wanting to like look at all of the things that go into having this nephew come into your home. But I think that you also need to be prepared for the fact that like I don't think your husband's going to budge, and I don't blame him.
The whole blow up thing is to me an issue, but tensions are high, and this is a very sensitive subject. So I think his reaction was a little out there, a little over the top.
Yeah,
but it was just filled with emotion.
Yes,
right, because he's like, well, what the fuck? What do you want me to do? Like,
exactly.
You know. But I think the main thing is that, one thing I was going to mention is when you mentioned the mother-in-law and father-in-law, and obviously so did OP, right? Do you think that the request of the brother-in-law should be honored? Because he asked the brother, not the father-in-law and mother-in-law. Do you think that's a reason? Or do you think there is a reason? Or do you think that...
My initial thing is maybe that like if their parents aren't if they're just older, you know, maybe the 7-year-old's a rambunctious kid and he would just be a lot for the grandparents to have full time.
Maybe they have different views on life. That could definitely be part of it too.
If that is the case, I mean, no matter what your brother's reasoning for asking you is, I mean, he has his reasons, obviously. Otherwise, he would have asked your parents. But I do think that it's fair to ask if they'd be willing to kind of help with the expenses.
Okay.
Just to see, you know, like your family's going through it. Your son's in the hospital. Your grandson needs to be taken care of. Yeah. Like, I mean, if that was my family, I wouldn't be turning a blind eye. If that was, you know, if that was anybody else in my family, it would be the same thing across the board, you know.
I think it would be a deeper conversation if it was like if this was like a 7-year-old in that scenario, 7-year-old, and you got to take them in until like they're 18. That's a much bigger conversation.
Yes.
I don't know if
Yes.
the ending result would change because obviously it's still a 7-year-old in need.
Yeah.
But it would be a much bigger conversation because like this is a permanent thing. This isn't just a year.
Yeah.
This is like
I mean, yeah,
we are
it
their
would,
parents now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it would literally.
That's huge.
Yeah, it would have to turn into that because it would probably have to come down to a point where you would need that legal, at least guardianship or something, you
100%.
know. But
For this though, it's just a year.
Yeah.
So, and another thing I was going to mention about the grandparents is that if it was just like a weekend or something like that, I wouldn't be too concerned, at least too concerned, with their like, you know, if they're like super religious or like whatever, like if there was like, if there was some kind of concern that you thought that they were going to just like push stuff down their throat, you know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, if I ever thought that the kid was going to be uncomfortable there in any way, then yeah, I wouldn't do it. But if it was just that maybe, like I said, maybe he's just really rambunctious and they're older, I'd be like, okay, he doesn't have to come live with you, but like, could you maybe take him on like a weekend or something?
I think the brother-in-law,
I don't know, like, can we make this kind of a village thing and not just where everything falls on us? Like, I'm more than happy to be part of the village, but I need some other villagers. Right. I can't be the only one.
Yeah, I wonder if that was to be the case, then the brother-in-law should be brought into it and just make sure that there wasn't like a bigger reason why the grandparents weren't brought in. Yeah, because that could go against his wishes. And I think like, I mean, this is your kid. You're gonna get him back in, you know, a year or whatever. Yeah. You could see him whenever, depending on what the treatment is. But you can see him on the regular, you know what I mean? So you'll have regular input and you'll still see him. But I think that should still be a conversation.
Well, yeah, definitely. It's ultimately going to come down to the parent, but also if you're unable to care for your kid, you almost have to kind of give a little where you're able to, where you feel comfortable, I guess. Yeah. So if there's some things that you might have to give up, I guess, if that's what it takes to keep your kid taken care of and not like going into the system because there's nobody else. Exactly. Then
that's the biggest thing.
I mean, you do what you got to do sometimes. I don't know. Yeah.
It's true though. It's true.
It just depends on how the parents are, but I'm just going off of the assumption that they're just older and that's why he didn't ask them.
I mean, that makes sense to me. Either there's something that the brother-in-law doesn't like about them, they're not close or whatever, or they're too old to take care of a 7-year-old, because that's a big thing, you know? Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add? Before you get into verdict?
I don't think so.
What's your verdict?
What was the question again?
This is, am I the asshole for asking my husband if he's sure about taking in his nephew?
No, because like I said, I think it's good to consider everything that's going into this decision. Okay. I think it's good to ask, are you sure about this?
I think it's definitely, I would agree, I think, for the most part. You're not the asshole for asking the question, but you're kind of with me, you're kind of teetering. It's a valid conversation to have, of course. But like, you seem to be leaning more towards not doing this. I mean, just because how she words it. My husband feels obligated, and he's been staying with us for the last week, and it already has been a lot emotionally, and I'm sure it will be financially as well. It seems like you're kind of leaning, but these are valid concerns.
I understand where you're coming from too, because they have a 2-year-old, you said?
Yep. And then
you have a 2-year-old and you're about to have a baby. So like, that's a lot. That's a lot that you have going on. So I completely understand the initial
panic,
I guess, selfishness of the case.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
You know, like that being your hesitancy.
Like self-preservation.
Yeah, kind of. Okay. I guess maybe that's a better way to say it. Yeah, because you just want to make sure that, you know, your kids are going to be taken care of and that everybody is going to be good and you're going to be able to provide for everybody. And I'm sure, you know, you already know that you're living off of just your husband's income. Yeah. And you've got to know in the back of your mind that you're not going to be able to go back to work anytime soon.
Of
like,
course.
Let's be real, unless you find some place, unless you can hide that pregnancy pretty well, or you find some place that is very inclusive,
Yeah.
you're gonna be hard pressed to find some place to hire you. It's fucked up, but it's true.
I mean, yeah.
It's
because you're gonna be out for a while.
exactly.
I think there's more to it as well that I didn't think of originally. Is that not only is there a lot happening in the scenario, but she's also 6 months pregnant.
Yeah,
So,
that's
like,
what I'm saying.
All of those hormones and all that kind of stuff, that plays into it as well.
Yes.
But I would say that my verdict is not the asshole, just because she's having a conversation. If she were approaching this like, am I the asshole for telling my husband we can't take in his nephew? Then yeah, you are, and fuck what you just said. You know what I mean?
I mean,
but
yeah, you might
it's
have
a conversation.
Yeah. I know that it's probably more logical to say no, and like when you look at it from like a financial aspect or whatever, but at the end of the day, like
from a human aspect,
that's what I was gonna
not.
say. At the end of the day, that is your family, and if that was my family, I would be like, hey, we need to make room.
That is a 7-year-old.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll do what I gotta do, I guess. I'll start selling feet pics. I don't give a shit.
Jesus. Anyways.
Oh, that was last week's episode. Sorry. I was gonna say yesterday.
So
but
Reddit's overall verdict was not the asshole, so they agreed with us. If I got, I think 3 comments for this one. Yeah.
Okay.
So the first one is, if there's a 7-year-old with no place to be, he's coming with me. I'm sure it's stressful. Imagine how stressful it is for him. Figure a way to get some help and work through it. What's the alternative? Not the asshole. I'm not going to call you names for being stressed, but this is a little kid. What would you want your family to do for your kids if the situation was reversed? Which is, I mean, that's
my worst fucking nightmare. I just hope that my family would find a way to make it work. Yes.
Somebody, yeah.
Whatever you do, don't let my kids end up in the system separated.
Yes.
I can't.
The next one is, I wouldn't say you're an asshole for asking. You should both be aligned on the decision you make about this. It is a big one. But I will say, if my spouse and I were in this position, there would be no conversation needed. We'd be taking in our nephews or nieces if they were in need. I am surprised that you and your husband are so misaligned on this type of question. Did you expect him to consider not taking in your nephew?
Yeah.
And that's a valid question.
Yeah.
This one, I think, hit the hardest out of all the ones that I looked through. I was that 7-year-old. Over 60 years ago.
Oh.
My grandparents had already died, and my father was left with 3 young children and no backup. My aunt and uncle, who lived in another state, took us in until my father could get settled, then took us every summer until we were old enough to take care of ourselves during the day. I will always bless them for doing so, and my time with them was the happiest times of our childhood. I cannot imagine what my father would have done if it weren't for them. Please don't worry about how much your nephew is going to cost. What you provide for him will be far more than a roof and a meal. You can give this child security at a tumultuous time in his little life. Mm-hmm. Which is, I mean, that's...
Oh, that makes me want to cry.
If that doesn't fucking get you there, I don't know what will. Because
that's what I was saying, though. It's so unfair to base this, like... the situation off of the first week and how emotional it's been. He's a 7-year-old kid and his dad is in the hospital. He's probably thinking the worst every fucking second of every day. Give him a break.
Yeah.
Go take him to the park, get him some ice cream, give him something to take his fucking mind off of it. Just be there.
Yeah. And I mean, like,
oh my God.
And like both of them are going through some major things internally. So OP and the kid. So like with all the hormones and being pregnant and all that kind of stuff, of being worried and all that, and then the kid is like, okay, where am I gonna go? What's gonna happen?
Yes.
You know what I mean? So like they're both in a very complex scenario, situation, but like there's no other option.
Yeah,
you have to.
No, I understand where your concerns are coming from, but I agree with all the comments. Like it wouldn't even be. It would literally be like, okay, we're gonna make room, and then like. Get you settled, and then afterwards, how are we gonna do this? Mm-hmm. How are we gonna figure this out?
But I mean, but like I said, it's only a year. You're not
exactly.
The conversation is happening about like saving up for their college tuition.
Yeah, I think this is a year. The sooner that you just accept it and you just try and get everybody comfortable, the sooner you will be comfortable and the faster that time will go. So stop fighting it.
And I don't know about you, but fucking years go by quicker and quicker.
They do.
Every year. So like,
yeah,
just, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Just make sure the 7-year-old is okay.
Yes, 100%.
All right, time for our second Am I the Asshole?
Okay, so the second story is titled, Am I the Asshole for my productivity/behavior becoming affected after my friend installed home security cameras?
Okay.
I, 24 male, moved into my good friend's 39 male house, and we've been living together for 3 years. We're not partners. I don't work on account of a stressful degree, but the house is paid off and he makes enough for bills. So I buy groceries, do chores/cook, and I'm home often when not in class. 2 years ago, he bought a doorbell camera and security cameras for the sides and back of the house, plus window and door sensors for security and to monitor his dog who sometimes escapes the yard. Fine. But soon after, he wanted security cameras in the house. He claimed it was to monitor the dog's mischief. They'd be in the entryway, living room, and hallway, which points at our bedrooms and bathroom. I said I was opposed. I didn't see the point of internal cameras when the outside was covered already. He said he'd give me access to the app, buy cameras with lids, and allow me to close the lids, but I still didn't agree. I didn't want to have to worry about my privacy accessible in a hackable app, but he went ahead and got them anyway.
Okay.
The dog was often of little interest on camera as he milled about, so with the lack of activity, the cameras had a different benefit. A text right as I left the house. Why are you just leaving now? You should go to the store earlier. At dinner. Why didn't you get downstairs until 11? You were supposed to feed the dog at 10. I would say something funny happened with the dog while he was working, and you'd say, I know, I saw. If he texted with no immediate answer, I'd hear from the camera loudspeaker, why are you not answering? Sometimes he posted funny things of the dog on the cameras to his Insta story, but a few times it's something funny of me on camera. I'd ask him to remove it, and though he didn't understand what the big deal was. I'd close camera lids, but because he gets upset if I don't open them before bed, I'd mostly leave them open to avoid the scolding if I forgot. The house feels less like home and more like the Truman Show sometimes, often leading me to avoid tasks as I feel I can't do anything without the fear of surveillance. I'll admit there are some things I should have been doing at home that I was pushing to a later date, time, or forgetting. Still, I feel using the cameras for receipts is overstepping some kind of privacy boundary. Fear of being watched is so ingrained now, I catch myself sometimes unable to relax in the house or reflexively checking for a camera in my room before undressing. My friend says the cameras are harmless, that I should just get things done properly if I don't want to be monitored or called out by him. But I still feel like this only causes me paranoia and frames my task struggling as my fault for what I feel was and still is an invasion of my privacy. Am I the asshole for surveillance anxiety affecting my productivity/behavior?
Okay, so before I make fun of people, what are the ages and sex of these two people?
Again. OP is 24 male and his friend is 39 male. They're not partners.
Say that one more time.
OP is 24 male.
24, okay.
And his friend is 39 male. They're not partners. They just live together.
Jesus, okay.
But it sounds like it's his friend's house.
This is probably the strangest dynamic I've ever heard of. Because this is like, it's almost like the 39-year-old is acting as like a father or older brother or something like that, right?
Or a lover.
Or
I don't think so. It doesn't give off lover vibes.
No, not at all. This is like
it does give off controlling vibes.
Exactly. Yeah, like you're being monitored and stuff like that. What's the verbatim again? What's the question?
So the title was, Am I the asshole for my productivity/behavior becoming affected after my friend installed home security cameras?
That's a weird question. Okay. Well, so this whole thing is very confusing because why? Like, why is this happening? And especially since OP is there on the regular, why do you need the inside cameras when you have the outside cameras? So we have inside cameras, but there's times where like no one's home or whatever, you know what I mean? But we're also not staring at it, watching the other person, and this person is. So, which I don't understand. Why are you taking screenshots of the dogs and then that person? And I mean, it looks like you're constantly monitoring it. Like that camera is constantly up, and you have a screw loose.
That's weird.
I think there's something happening up top where you.
Yeah. Like, I feel like you think that your roommate is your sim, and you're like, why are you not doing what I told you to do? He's gonna fucking put you in a pool and take away the ladder.
It puts the lotion on the skin.
I'm telling you.
That's the vibes I get from this story.
You better be careful closing your door. It's gonna disappear.
Like this is, and they're not. I don't feel like OP is treated as an equal or like a roommate.
I don't think
this
so
is
either.
This is a superior. You know what I mean?
I feel like that.
And that's I don't know. This is not a healthy relationship. I would definitely, I guess what I would do if I were OP is I would just close every single lid.
Yeah.
And then I would just close it every time.
Yeah.
I wouldn't care. Now it's weird though, because like you are giving this person full control of your life because you're not working. You haven't worked in years. It sounds like you've been going to school the entire time, right? You're 29 or no, 24 and the other person's 39. You need to change your living arrangements.
I think
for sure.
you do.
You need to get out of there because this is only going to get worse.
I think so.
And it looks like it sounds like it went in phases. So it was security on the exterior, and now it's monitoring interior.
Yeah.
And you are always interior, so you are the one being monitored. Obviously.
Yeah.
Why do you need to monitor the dog? So correct me if I'm wrong, the only issue that the dog had, there wasn't any like internal damages or chewing on furniture or anything like that. It was only getting out of the backyard.
Yeah.
So why do you have cameras to monitor the dog inside?
I don't know. I think that was
and there's
maybe
somebody
just
home
an excuse
to
to
watch
get
the
cameras.
dog. This sounds like you're just being monitored. You're just being
Yeah.
watched. And you need to fucking get out of there. So I'm a little confused as to what the question is though, but I don't think any question that OP would ask, I would say that they're the asshole. Because they said about productivity and what was it again?
Well, the last question that they asked was, am I the asshole for surveillance anxiety affecting my productivity / behavior? Which I don't think that's really
not
the
what
question
you meant.
here.
No, not at all.
I think, am I the asshole for having a problem with my roommate having surveillance cameras inside the house and watching me all day long?
Damn your productivity. You are being fucking monitored, my guy.
Yes.
So no, like I said, not the end. Any question that you ask right now, I am full OP side because no, this is a horrible.
I know. I read this one and I was
situation.
like, what the fuck is happening?
It doesn't get better.
It's weird to me too that like I feel like that age gap in your guys' friendship is part of the issue as
Isn't
well.
that 15 years?
Yeah.
That dude's almost 40.
Yeah. Like, I think that is a huge part of this imbalance that you guys have, honestly.
It's like a father.
And I think, older
brother, whatever.
Yeah, I think no matter what, I think he's gonna, well, also because it's his house. So he's definitely gonna feel like he always has, some authority over you while you continue living there. I think you got to get out for sure.
This almost feels like, God, what's that movie called? With Sweeney, and she's the maid, the live-in maid.
Oh yeah, The Housemaid. We just watched that.
The Housemaid, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
So
she started like controlling her time and shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like that's what this is, and you're not looked at as OP isn't looked at as a roommate. You're looked at as like a housemaid.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I think it's weird as hell when he's like, you should be going to the store earlier and da-da-da. Like, why are you telling me when I shouldn't be going to the store?
Because you're hired help.
Yeah, you need to.
And also, you're not paying any bills.
Like,
you're not contributing really, except for like, I guess,
groceries,
housemaid stuff,
and
like
chores,
things. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's not really worth it to me.
No, you need to get out of this situation because
Yeah.
that's wild.
Ooh.
I'm very interested to see what Reddit said about this. Mine's definitely not the asshole.
Well, they agreed.
Okay.
The overall verdict was not the asshole.
Okay.
So I have a few comments. The first one is not the asshole, but you have to get out. He is creepy and controlling, which, yeah, simple, straight to the point.
Probably has a receding hairline too.
Ooh. It just made me think of that
This old
guy
creepy
from
guy.
The Lovely Bones. You know, when Stanley Tucci looked like a creeper in that movie?
I don't even know what that is.
I never watched the movie, but I've heard about it, and I've
okay.
seen his character.
Interesting.
And
oof.
it just, I don't know, for some reason, that's the first thing that popped into my head. It's just
This
like,
guy sounds like a fucking creep.
I don't know, I don't like it. All right, second one. Not the asshole. Yes, you are living there for free. Yes, it's his right to have cameras, but this is not a legal sub. It's, am I the asshole? This dude is being an asshole. Y'all really think it's okay for him to post video footage of OP online? What the hell is wrong with all of you? Yes, OP should move out if they don't like it. Doesn't mean this guy isn't a total creep. I guess there were people that were commenting about that.
Oh, I'm sure.
I didn't see that.
I'm sure.
Yeah. And then somebody responded to that one saying, Rumi posting videos of OP online was what made me change my verdict to not the asshole. That is a huge invasion of privacy. I have indoor cameras to monitor my pets, and I rarely access them when my own husband is home because that's just creepy and invasive. Also, if someone is home, then the pets are being monitored.
Yeah.
So again,
a little concerned why that's the only part that changed your mind.
I know I was
That's
judging them a little bit for that. I was like, that's
what about the rest of the story?
Yeah, I was like, that's the thing about it. That was it.
Now I'm kind of judging you.
Yeah, I was like, not the like watching you. You don't. I don't know. I would constantly be
wrong.
like,
all of it's bad.
like every time I go to do anything, I'd be like, oh my God, do I need to start narrating what I'm doing?
But the fact that the 39-year-old is posting the pictures of OP is
the videos and stuff from
what changed your mind.
Yeah.
Is there's so much wrong with this story that you should have changed your mind. As soon as he asked the question.
So then the last comment is not the asshole. And don't think you're an asshole for not liking the cameras. And he's not an asshole for preferring it. He is an asshole for posting security camera footage of you to Instagram. He is an asshole for using the camera speakers to scold you for not responding to his texts. And he is an asshole for using the camera to police when you do activities like shopping.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
That is wild.
Yeah. So I just...
Ugh, that's creepy. You got to get out of there. You got to get a job and get the hell out of there.
For real. If you can, just move back in with your parents.
I
mean, you might as well.
Something.
How much different is it going to be?
Yeah. Probably not much of an age difference either.
Well, I hope your parents are more than 15 years older than you. That's sad.
Could be 18. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's a wild age gap.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway. Time for the third Am I the Asshole story.
So this story is titled, Am I the Asshole for Refusing to be Everyone's Driver even though my friends were already counting on me to do it? Last Sunday, I had a day out with my old friends. We had a dinner, then went to a bar to play board games, and those who wanted could have a drink. A day before our meeting, someone in the group chat asked how everyone was getting to the spot. I wrote that I was driving myself because I live pretty far away and had an appointment early the next morning. I didn't say I'd be driving anyone home. I just said I'd be driving there and mentioned my appointment. At the bar, I only drank soda because I was driving. Around midnight, one friend said, "It's good that I'm driving everyone home tonight." I thought he was joking. I said, "Sorry, but I'm driving myself." It got awkward. It turned out that a friend had told a few people that I definitely wasn't drinking and could drive everyone home because it's on his way anyway. But that wasn't true. Two of them lived in a completely different direction, and if I were to drive everyone, it would take over an hour and a half for sure. I also had an early appointment in the morning. They started saying that ride shares are expensive right now, their phones were almost dead, and I could at least help out. I said I could wait with them while they called for rides, take two people who really live near me, and I wouldn't be driving the whole group around town. But I wouldn't be driving the whole group around town. I also politely explained the reasons why. The friend who told everyone this got angry and said I was making her look stupid now. I replied that you don't build a safety plan around someone who wasn't asked. In the end, I drove 2 friends home who I said lived just 5 minutes away from me and helped the others order ride shares and waited until cars arrived. Now the friend says I ruined the end of the night and could have just helped out since I was sober anyway. To be honest, I would like to help them, but I had an early work appointment the next day and a bit upset that my decision not to drink was turned into a public service without my consent. So again, am I the asshole for refusing to be everyone's driver even though my friends were already counting on me to do it?
No. I mean, like you said, it's not fair of them to plan their safety plan around you and not tell you anything about it. What if you had shown up and been like, woo, my appointment got canceled, let's party. Then what? Then what were they going to do? They still would have had to get the ride shares. They still would have had to figure out how they were going to get home.
Yeah.
So no matter what,
fair.
No matter what, they were in the wrong. They shouldn't have done that without letting you know what the plan was. Or no, not without letting you know what the plan was, without asking you if you would drive everybody home. Because let's be honest, like being DD, that's work. And it's often annoying when you're the only one that's not drinking. And then you never know, someone's going to get sick in your car. Being DD's, it's risky.
Yeah.
So
My only caveat though is that the other people aren't necessarily in the wrong in my eyes, because up until that point, so say they started dinner at 8:00, right? And then fast forward to midnight. So there's already been a lot of drinking and laughing and all this kind of stuff, right? And up to this point, the rest of the group was told, they're under the impression that you already agreed to this, right? So I do agree that, well, I think the only person that's really at fault for that right there is the person that started the rumor.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
You know what
that's
I mean?
really who that was directed to, was the person that volunteered him to be DD.
Then by the time the question came up to OP, everybody's already like half lit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like now you can't even have an intelligent conversation because everybody's all emotional and drunk.
Everybody's just going to be like, come on, man.
Exactly.
You're ruining the night.
Now
Fuck you, dude.
all sense goes out the door when alcohol's introduced. So that's why I can't really fault the friends for saying or reacting the way that they did, or saying what they did or reacting how they did.
Yeah.
Because like they were under the impression that you had said this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's really the other person, the female, that was like, oh yeah, he's gonna take care of us.
I
like,
mean,
wait,
I
hold
know
up, what?
that they were, probably really hoping to not have to pay for a ride share and everything like that. But like I said, I mean, you need to make sure that you have a concrete plan before you go out and do all that.
And make sure that that person knows about the plan.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's one thing if you're going to be like, oh, we'll just get an Uber at the end of the night. That's fine. Like, okay, but at least you have a plan for it.
Yeah.
But
They didn't even plan on that.
yeah, so I don't know. I think it's definitely unreasonable of them to be like, oh, just because you're not driving, you can drive us all over the place, like an hour and a half extra out of your night just to take all of us home.
And it's already midnight, so you probably wouldn't get home till 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah, that's what
like
I'm saying. I'm not doing that. Fuck that shit. Get an Uber, bitch.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, and that's what they did. I do. What do you think about how he wrapped up the night before he took the other 2 people home?
Oh yeah, I forgot. I was gonna say I did think that was nice of him to compromise that way and say it like, well, these people that actually do live near me, yeah, I can take them home because that does make sense. You are on my way.
Yeah.
But and then you even offered to stay and wait for the other people for their cars to get there so they didn't have to wait by themselves. That's pretty fucking nice. I mean, what else did they want you to do? Pay for their Ubers too?
I think they just wanted you to take them home. But
well, tough shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's true.
You're not everybody's parent. So.
Yeah, exactly. So what was your verdict?
Not the asshole.
Okay. I would definitely agree. My only thing, and I guess I'll say this before we get into the comments. Yeah, it's fine. Is that my only concern when I think about scenarios like this is like if something were to happen, right? Some realm or whatever, right? Something were to happen to one of your friends or all of them or whatever, right? and you could have taken them home. That's what pops into my head. You know what I
mean,
mean? Because
yeah.
like you would never be able to forgive yourself. Because like after that, that's the only scenario that really like kind of flips my mind.
Yeah,
like you're the only
suppose.
sober one. Like the fact that you stayed though, and you actually made sure they got their rides and everything, I think that kind of seals that up. But if you were to not say you take that out of the equation and you didn't, and you just took the two friends home and then you let everybody else just figure it out, phones die or whatever the case may be, and something ends up happening to them, I don't think you would ever forgive yourself for that.
I mean, yeah, that's true, but
so I think doing exactly what you did
yeah,
alleviates all of that. You made sure that they got into the cars safely and they were taken home.
Yeah, I just think it's really unfair to expect you to put all of your shit aside, like everything, your personal responsibilities that you have for the next day, because they volunteered you for something and didn't tell you at the last minute.
That's fair.
And now you need to cover for everybody else.
Yeah, I agree.
I think guilting him into it is incredibly unfair too.
I think you went above and beyond by making sure that they actually got into the cars.
Yeah.
Like got in their ride shares or whatever. Actually,
yeah, I mean, ideally they could like go together. I don't fucking know.
Depending on how many different directions.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously, like ride shares can be sketchy too, but at the same time, I mean, you got to come up with something if you're going to go out drinking with your friends.
Yeah.
And it needs to be a fairly solid plan. And that doesn't include somebody volunteering somebody else to be that safety plan and then not letting them know.
Yeah, exactly.
So I just,
That's fair.
At the end of the day, it sucks and it's a shitty situation, but you're not the asshole for not wanting to take everybody home.
I think
you
that's
didn't even plan for it. That would have been my biggest thing is like, I'm about 15 minutes from being cozy in my bed. And now you're asking me to drive for an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah, that would put me, I'd be like, you want to see who's going to ruin the fucking night? I'm about to ruin the night for everybody if I drive you guys home.
Yeah. Exactly. My verdict was also not the asshole. Reddit would also agree with us. Their overall verdict was not the asshole. I got 3 comments on this one as well, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the first one is not the asshole, not your responsibility to drive people home. Your friend seems more concerned about her reputation than their friends getting home, you being a free driver, and you getting to work the next morning. You may want to have a conversation with the friend who misinterpreted your statement, or let them drive everyone next time. I'd say you were overly nice to make sure everyone got their ride shares and even got 2 people home. Props to you for that. The next one is time to drop that friend. Don't waste your time and energy on people that act like this. They are not your friends. If they were, they would have been considerate of you and asked you, which is a great point because like how you're not going to include that person in the plan. Yeah. When they are your safety plan. Yeah. Next one was not the asshole. I hate when people just assume things without asking, especially when it comes to driving. Yeah. It would totally be okay even if you didn't have the appointment in the morning to say no, by the way. It doesn't make sense to go into different directions. And I bet they wouldn't even have offered to send you gas money.
No, probably not. I don't know I really don't know what they were thinking of like going out and not having a solid plan like in a group chat or I don't even know.
Well, again, you can't fault the friends for that because they were told.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
There was a plan.
Is that like even when I've gone out for like the girls' nights and stuff in the group chat, we're always like, okay, how is everyone getting there and how are we getting home? Yeah. Like before we, it goes in phases of our planning of like, okay, what do we want to do? Where do we want to go? How do we want to dress? And the last and final thing is, how are we getting there? How are we getting home? Yeah. It always happens in the group chat. So everybody knows. And then when we start the night on the way there, or when we all get together and sit down, we're like, okay, real quick. How's everybody getting home? Like, let's just double tap this one last time. Yeah. Make sure we're all good. And then we're like, all right, festivities can commence. Yeah. Just have a fucking plan.
I mean, that makes sense.
But it's just
so I'm trying to figure out exactly how the message. So they coordinated through the chat because in the beginning of this post, they talk about their plans. But then a day before a meeting, someone in the group chat asked how everyone was getting to the spot. I wrote that I was driving myself because I live pretty far away and had an appointment early the next morning. So there is a group chat. But then somehow they discussed, it turned out that a friend had told a few people that I definitely wasn't drinking and could drive everyone home because it's on his way anyways.
See,
so what that tells me, how I interpret that, is that they didn't do just that.
Yeah.
No one talked about it. Once it was originally talked about in the message or in the group chat, it was kind of dropped. And then this side conversation happened at the spot when OP wasn't around.
Listen, you guys need some more type A people in your group because I'm just saying there's like 3 different people in our group chat that would have been like, hey, how is this happening?
That makes sense to me. That's exactly what should happen.
You need someone that's going to be like, we're keeping all of the important information in the group chat.
Yeah, that's how it should be. That's how it should be.
You guys
that's
need to establish some group chat rules.
That's what these people should have done for sure. All right, time for our last Am I the Asshole?
All right. The final story is titled, Would I be the asshole for asking my roommate's girlfriend to pay rent after she turned our living room into her office?
Okay.
I share a 2-bedroom apartment with my roommate, Matt. We're both 27. We have lived together for almost 2 years and it has been mostly fine. Rent is $2,450, not including utilities, and we split everything 50-50. Matt started dating Jenna about 8 months ago. I like Jenna as a person. She's polite, she's not messy in the kitchen, and she's never been rude to me. At first, she would come over maybe 2 nights a week. Normal relationship stuff. I had no issue with it. Around January, that changed. Jenna started staying over more because her own apartment has 3 roommates, and according to her, one of them works nights and comes home loud. I felt bad for her. I said I didn't mind her being around as long as it didn't feel like a 3rd roommate situation. It now feels like a 3rd roommate situation. The weird part is that she is not technically sleeping here every night, which is the argument that Matt keeps using. She probably sleeps here 3 or 4 nights a week, but she's here almost every weekday from around 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. because she works from home and says our apartment is quieter than hers. At first, she just used the couch with her laptop. Then she brought over a monitor, then a keyboard, then a rolling office chair that now lives in the corner of our living room, then a little plastic drawer thing with chargers, notebooks, snacks, and random paperwork. She also takes work calls from the living room, which means I basically have to pretend the living room does not exist during the day. I work a hybrid schedule, so I'm home 2 days a week. On those days, I can't really use the living room. If I make lunch, I feel like I have to be quiet because she's on calls. If I want to watch TV during my break, I cannot. If I have a friend over after work, her office setup is still sitting there unless I ask her to move it. The breaking point was last week. I came home early because I had a migraine and wanted to lie down on the couch since my room gets a lot of afternoon sun and was too hot. Jenna was on a Zoom meeting in the living room. I quietly grabbed water and started heading to the couch, and she muted herself and whispered, "Can you not be in the background?" I honestly just stared at her because it is my couch in my apartment. I went to my room instead and waited until Matt got home. I told him this arrangement was not working for me anymore. I said Jenna either needs to stop using the living room as her office or she needs to contribute to rent and utilities like someone who uses the apartment every weekday. Matt got defensive immediately. He said she does not live here and that I'm being weird about his girlfriend existing in our shared space. I said existing is different from storing office furniture here and using the living room more than I do. He said she buys paper towels sometimes and brought us a Costco pack of coffee last month. So it's not like she contributes nothing.
Sorry. That's okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
I told him paper towels are not rent. I suggested that if she's going to keep working here 5 days a week, she should pay $400 a month toward the apartment, and we can lower what Matt and I each pay a bit. I did not even think that was crazy considering she's using the space for 40 hours a week. Matt said that was insane because she already pays rent at her own place. I said then she should work at her own place. This turned into a bigger fight. Jenna cried and said she feels like I never liked her and that I'm punishing her for having a bad living situation. Matt said I am making money off of his relationship. I told them I'm not trying to profit. I am trying to not pay half the rent for an apartment where I have to ask permission to use the living room. Now, Matt is barely speaking to me. Jenna has not been over for 2 days, which honestly has been peaceful, but Matt says I made her feel unwelcome and embarrassed. A couple of mutual friends said I'm right about the living room situation, but asking for money makes me sound greedy. One friend said I should have just asked her to move the desk setup and not brought rent into it. I can see that maybe I jumped too quickly to money because I was frustrated. But I also think once someone has a chair, monitor, drawer, snacks, and a work schedule in your apartment, it's not just visiting anymore. So, would I be the asshole if I told my roommate that his girlfriend either needs to pay toward rent or stop working from our living room?
So, okay. I'm 50-50. I am absolutely 50-50.
Really?
So I completely agree with OP about the living room situation. This is my goddamn living room. This is my furniture. This is my TV, right? This is not your work area.
Mm-hmm.
So, but how he approached it was pretty shitty. Because there are a few qualifying things that go into paying rent somewhere. For one, she's paying rent somewhere else, right? So if, in my opinion, kind of the qualifiers for having to pay rent somewhere is, are you showering there? Is your clothes there? Do you sleep there? All that kind of stuff. If you're just working there, you shouldn't pay rent for that, right? But you also shouldn't be using my space. So that's why I see it both ways, right? My thing, I wouldn't have jumped to money because I don't think that's fair. I don't think that you should profit off of this because she's not really, I don't think she's contributing, but she's really not using a whole lot. She's not using your water. She's not sleeping there. She's not using, you know what I mean?
Utilities.
But yeah, but I mean, like that's, I wouldn't ask for money. I think asking for money is wrong, but you working in the living room is also wrong. You need to either work from your own home, right? Or I don't see how we fucking miss this. Why aren't you using your boyfriend's bedroom? You know what I mean? Like, why isn't that? This is a community fucking area. This is not your area. I would have snapped if I would have been me walking into that living room and you would have paused. I would have made a fucking scene. I would have. We're not going to go there. We're not going to go there. But I would have made a fucking scene. But I wouldn't have asked for money because I don't think that makes sense. That for me, that doesn't make sense. I don't want your money. I just want you to not be working in my living room. That's the root cause. The root cause is not money. It's not like a monetary thing, right? That's not the problem. What I would do is attack the root cause. And the root cause is you working in this fucking living room 40 hours a week. So the immediate solution is pick up your shit and move to your boyfriend because that's his space. You guys, you're pretty much lumped in with him. Use his space. He's not here, right? So that's what I would do. If that's not an option, then you need to take your happy ass back to your bedroom where you pay rent and work from there. The living room is not the option. So that's why I'm 50-50. Say the question, because even the question I'm 50-50 on. Say the question verbatim again.
So let me see. Was it the same question? So do you want the title or the last question?
Whatever the question is. Probably the title. I don't know.
Well, whatever. Okay. Well, I meant the last question. So the last question was, would I be the asshole if I told my roommate that his girlfriend either needs to pay toward rent or stop working from our living room?
No. That's it right there. To pay rent, yes. You are not owed money in any way, shape, or form in this scenario, in my opinion. But the living room part, you're not the asshole for that because she shouldn't be working in that. That is not her space.
I know. I think the reason why he was talking about asking for rent was because she's taking up space that is keeping him from using it. So he's like, if I have to give up some of this shared space where I'm paying the rent, then you need to start paying for that space that you are taking up.
I would argue that show me that in black and white in the renter's agreement.
There isn't one. That's why she should go.
That's what I mean is that's why to me, you can't ask for monetary. You can't ask for money because like I'm not on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But that's what I'm saying is that like even if you bring it down to like, oh, per the lease, you're probably not supposed to be there anyway. So if you want to bring the lease into I'm sure that there's gonna be
like
some kind of thing
yeah.
in there for like how often people are allowed to be there.
I think it's I don't know for sure. But I would assume that it'd be like sleeping there.
Yeah, I don't know.
And she's not doing that.
Yeah.
So, and even his friends agreed as well. I'm sure Reddit has its own fucking opinion. But that's my opinion is that you're wrong to ask for money because you don't deserve any money in this situation. It's
not that he's asking.
I know this is just my opinion, but I don't think that any money should be exchanged because that's not the root cause. The root cause is you want your damn living room back.
I mean,
and I think you're right for it.
Yeah.
But you just even OP said it. I may have I forget verbatim what he said.
Jumped too soon to money.
Yeah, you jumped too soon to money. I do agree with that, but I don't think you're the asshole for wanting your space back because again, we haven't said this in a while or a couple episodes at least. It's you need to protect your space. That is your
definitely.
peace. And if you're going to intrude on my peace, especially the way that she did, she paused or muted the Teams meeting or whatever, and like, hey, can you not be in the background? Can you not be in my fucking living room?
Well, yeah, that's why I would say like either you need to move your work setup into your boyfriend's room.
Boom.
Or if you want to keep using the living room, then yes, you do need to start contributing because if you're going to kick me out of the space that I'm already paying for, I'm going to start charging you for that.
That is not even an option in my mind.
No, I mean, that's how I would be. It's like either you move your shit into here or I'm charging you, but either way, I'm leaving here with something.
In my opinion,
I'm giving up the room. Either I'll give up the living room and I get a little bit of my rent taken care of because you're covering that space. I'll stay in my room. You pay for the living room space. That's fine.
See, that's not a good solution to me because that makes OP even more uncomfortable.
I know, but that's what I'm saying is now everybody's uncomfortable because you don't want to pay.
Because his bedroom overheats, that's not a solution. So her keeping the living room should not even be in the equation. It should be the original thing that I said should be you go into your boyfriend's room and you work out of there, or you take all your stuff and you go work in your bedroom. Because like I know the only complaint that she said, at least from what I remember from what you said, is that the only complaint is that there's 3 people there. There's 3 other roommates. Okay, but you still pay for you even said it. You still pay rent. You still pay for your room. So go to your room and work.
I agree.
The living room is not an option.
Yeah.
And I don't know why OP didn't go there in the first place. Like, why aren't you in your boyfriend's room? Why aren't you in Matt's room?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like, how did we land in this communal space? I don't know, but it needs to get fixed. And this is not it.
Yeah.
So mine would be sorry, one more time.
Would I be the asshole?
Are you giving me the last question or the title?
The last question.
What's the title? Yeah, because you said there's 2 different ones. What did she start with?
So I think it's a guy.
What did they start with?
Would I be the asshole for asking my roommate's girlfriend to pay rent after she turned our living room into her office?
Yes. I say yes to that. That question verbatim is there should be no exchange of money because it doesn't fix the root cause.
Yeah.
Because even if, okay, so let's go down that rabbit hole real quick before we move on. Is that, say she starts paying, it was $400 a month, right? So now you give her the fucking living room. So now she has a right to mute her Zoom call, look at you and be like, hey, can you not stand there? I'm paying for this space. That would, now you have no.
You're renting the space from 8:30 to 5.
That's what I mean. But now, like, the only place that you can chill when you have a headache or whatever is your overheating bedroom.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, yes, this is a completely wrong course of action. Exchanging money so that she can use the living room because it doesn't attack the root cause, and I will die on that fucking hill.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't want that either, but I would definitely be like, I'm not going to give you guys any super desirable options here.
No, there's 2 options that I see. Well, I guess there's a third, and that's whatever.
There really isn't.
But the main 2 ones I see is go work in Matt's room or go work in your own room.
Yeah, well, I mean, realistically, though, too, is that, like, if she's like, oh, well, you know, his bedroom's too small or blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, then now you need to go pay to go to a workspace if you still don't want to go to your space. So either way.
I think that would be the third COA for me.
But
the first one
would be
Matt's room. The second one would be your room at your residence that you pay for, or that right there.
Yeah.
Is you go pay for a workspace.
Yeah.
Or
rent a desk.
why can't you go to
workspace
Starbucks
or
well, I guess Teams would be
They're
okay.
taking
That's not
calls
fair.
and
That's not
stuff.
fair. Yeah, that's not fair to
But
her.
still-
But still, it's not fair to OP that you're
No.
using his living room.
No,
So
I agree. I mean,
again, we're back to two COAs. You go back to you move all your stuff into Matt's room,
mm-hmm.
and you work out of there, and that way, like, you can have your privacy and all that kind of stuff, and then this communal space remains, community space.
Yeah.
Because right now it's not a community space; it's your space, and that's not how this fucking works.
Yeah. I don't know.
So So for the first question, the title of this, I think you are the asshole. If we're just talking about money, the last one, there's two. There's money, and then there's leaving the apartment or moving your workstation. Right? I don't think you're the asshole. You're not the asshole for asking her to leave the living room, right? But money should not exchange hands.
I don't think they're the asshole for either.
Okay.
Honestly, no.
Okay,
I really
that's
don't.
fair. What was Reddit's overall verdict?
So they said not the asshole.
Okay.
So the first comment was, the solution is easy. They need to reconfigure Matt's bedroom so she has space to set up her office there. So the living room is free for everyone. Lots of people do that. Who has the larger bedroom? Or you might need to look for a studio / one bedroom place for yourself.
Okay, I agreed with all that until the second one.
Well, like if you guys can't come to a resolution,
who
then maybe
has the
find your
larger
own
bedroom
place.
as far as Matt and OP?
Oh,
Now you want to take my bedroom?
Well, no, I think she's trying. They're just asking, like, is that an option?
I thought they were insinuating that if what's OP's name? Wait, OP and Matt, if OP has a larger room, that they would switch rooms so that she could have a workspace.
Oh, no, I think maybe they were just trying to figure out if that's an option.
If I misunderstood, then I completely agree with that for sure. And that's exactly what I said, too.
Yep. So then the second one was, hand Matt a bill for her portion of rent, utilities, and internet. Again, ignore her bullshit. It's your place. She doesn't pay rent there, and I would hammer that point to her every opportunity. Turn the TV up. Be in the background. Once again, it's your house, not hers. If she has a problem with you living in your house, she can go back to hers. I would get petty about it, but expect to lose Matt as a friend and a roommate. But it doesn't really sound like much of a loss to me. So
I don't know.
That one was a lot more cutthroat.
That Redditor is kind of dumb. But I agreed with.
I think a cutthroat.
I think the second half I agreed with. The first one makes no sense. Again, and I like I said, I'll die on that hill because it doesn't attack the root cause. And now this commenter is even like, Matt and OP may have a very healthy relationship, and now you're gonna let this female fuck it up for you because of whatever.
I mean, if you're gonna
this guy sounds
continue
like
to let her invade the space,
no,
it's Matt.
I
choosing
completely
to do that.
agree that something needs to change, but that guy was just very aggressive.
I don't know.
And again, money is not going to solve anything. Because then if she does start paying you, then she can tell you to turn the TV down. She can tell you to get out of it because now she's paying for the space. So now you're giving her power for what, $400 a month? Take your piece back. Take your space back. Go into fucking Matt's room or go home.
I agree.
Money should not exchange hands.
Yeah. And then the last one said, not the asshole, you did right. You pay half to use all of the apartment, not just your bedroom. Besides her asking you not to be in the background, girl, bye. She's way too entitled for someone visiting. Pretty sure she's overstepping your lease details so your roommate can shut it. They have workspaces in every city. She can find one.
Money should not exchange hands. She needs to move for sure.
Yeah.
But if money exchanges hands,
honestly,
you give her power, and
OP,
you shouldn't.
I think that you should try to find your own place, just so you don't have to deal with roommates anymore.
Well, I don't know. That's not fair because then this issue is putting more stress. Again, we don't know their finances. I don't like adding stuff to stories, but
I'm saying
it's $24.50.
I think so. Yeah, $24.50. They
something
said.
like that. Yeah. So now instead of splitting it half, and you guys might have a good relationship. It seems like, and it seems like it works for you. You got to pay now because of this female. Now you got to pay for everything. I'm sure they split groceries, the utilities. I think you said it was rent was $24.50, and not including anything else. So now because
Yeah.
of this issue, now OP has to take on all that other financial burden.
Well, if he's going to choose his girlfriend over you and like trying
agree.
to remedy the situation, then why should you feel obligated to stay?
I do agree with that.
If he's happy in this relationship and he wants to pursue it, he's going to choose Jenna over OP. So I think maybe that's something
agree,
you might want to start preparing yourself
at the
for.
same time, though, I think since it's split 50-50 and you're not talking about Matt's room right now, you're talking about the communal space. I don't need Matt's okay.
What do you mean?
You know what I mean? For like to move her, to tell her to move. Like you don't need. So
No,
even if
I'm
Matt
saying-
sides with her, right, and for whatever reason, this is not Matt's space. This is our space.
I know, but you're talking about protecting your. Why would you want to live in that? That's not peaceful. If I would rather find other means, if that's the situation that I have to live in, is what I'm
You
saying.
maybe it gets hostile between OP and Matt.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is that it's clear that he's probably going to choose Jenna's side over OP because that's his girlfriend. He's in love with her. They want to do all the thing. Blah blah blah.
She probably sucks his pee-pee.
I don't know. Probably.
Mm.
I mean, I'm sure OP doesn't. So I mean, I don't know.
Oh,
I know what your
God.
situation is. But I'm just
But yes,
saying
that's
he's probably
fair.
going to pick his girlfriend. So I think maybe you should start
That is
looking
fair.
at other options.
I don't think it's fair to OP to have to take on that financial burden. So
No,
hopefully,
it's not
hopefully,
fair,
hopefully
but-
Matt and OP can. He may not even be able to afford it. That's probably why he has a roommate.
Exactly.
But again,
You're saying when it comes to stuff like this, where
Yeah.
it's like now you're involving significant others and blah, 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 like that shit hardly ever ends well, honestly.
yeah. Another
That's-
thing that we didn't talk
yeah.
about was that you could have the conversation, a rational conversation. Doesn't need to get hostile if you don't let it be.
Mm-hmm.
But a conversation you could have is why don't Matt and the girl, whatever, what's her name?
Jenna?
Get a place together, and then you find a new roommate. Or if you can't afford it, then you got your own place.
I mean, yeah.
Or whatever.
there's- I don't know.
You could do that too.
I
You know
don't
what I mean?
know.
But yeah, this obviously this situation is not working, and something
Yeah.
needs to change. But don't accept money from Jenna, because then you give her
Yeah.
power, and you need to
Yeah.
move her.
I don't know. Or
Oh,
take the money, stay in your room, save the money, and then move out.
yeah, but then he's gonna be uncomfortable in the hot room.
No, I don't know. I still agree though that she needs to go elsewhere.
100%. I agree.
Or, yeah.
I definitely agree.
All right. Well, that was our last Am I the Asshole story.
So now it's time for our votes for the Asshole of the Week award. So who you voting for? Story 1 is hesitant custody case. Story 2 is roommate surveillance. Story 3 is undesignated driver. Story 4 is living room girlfriend.
Ooh.
What you got?
I'm inclined to say roommate surveillance because that guy's a creeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely, for me, it's definitely not story 1, hesitant
Absolutely
custody case,
not.
because
No, I don't think there's any like true assholes in
Yeah.
that situation.
And then-
unless you say outright that you're not taking in your nephew, then you're an
Yeah.
asshole. But
I think story 4, living room girlfriend, really just takes a case of communication, right? And
putting your foot down.
putting your foot down.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't think that's worthy of Asshole of the Week award. So it's
Yeah.
for me, it's between 2 and 3, roommate surveillance, which you have a good point. That is a
Just a
very
creepy
creepy
mofo.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Undesignated driver is a pretty dick move, but when there's alcohol involved, because that could have been a very simple conversation if they had it
Yes.
before everybody started drinking.
That's what I was gonna say.
Once-
is that if you guys would have gotten it situated beforehand, it wouldn't have even been a fucking
Once
issue.
you introduce alcohol,
Nobody's
everybody's
talking rationally.
exactly. So I think I agree with you. I
Yeah.
think roommate surveillance takes it for me.
Roommate
That's my vote.
surveillance. That creeper.
Yeah.
Ugh. Get out of there, OP.
So there you go. Let us know what your vote is in the comments. The Asshole of the Week will be announced in the comments of this video when next week's episode is released on June 19th, so that everyone has 1 week to get their votes in.
That'll be Juneteenth.
Yep. Before we wrap up, we want to let everybody know we want to hear from you, whether you agree, disagree, have some topic requests, or maybe you have your own Am I the Asshole story. We want to hear about it. So feel free to drop a comment, send us a direct message, or email us. All of our links and information is available at our website, which is therantingpodcast.com. Anything you want to add before we wrap up?
I don't think so. Let us
Yeah.
know what your votes are.
Yeah.
I want to see what everyone has to say.
We have to remember to put the winner in because we always see like the comments for Asshole of the Week. We just need to make sure that we put it into the comments.
I was to say, honestly, if it's not in there, just comment a reminder.
And then
we'll throw it
Who
in
won?
there.
All right, that's it for us. If you like the show, feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see everyone next week.
Yay.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.